So it can work the opposite. So you can try and have intention with anything you make. I'm going to make a car. Henry Ford made a car, and he says, I want to make a car because I have all these fucking, I have all these parts in my garage from tractors, and I want to put them to use. Oh, I'm going to make this car so it's easier to go out and see the countryside. It's like, wow. And guess what? The car destroyed the countryside. Not totally. We could all get in a car right now and go to Yosemite and enjoy the country. But, you know, what are we going to see? They asked Rauschenberg, what kind of artist are you? He says, I'm a landscape artist. Well, look at his paintings. They're all ripped up billboards. Guess what? For him, landscapes are ripped up are billboards. So it's a new nature. So actually, we'll do a tetrad and then bring up some of our guests. So these are the 4 steps, questions that Marshall came up with, is saying, how can we analyze, study the effects of the things we invent? In fact, the way McLuhan was first brought big to the American people was through Woody Allen. And it's a cute little scene you can watch on YouTube, Annie Hall, and he brings out, you know, Fellini and Buñuel said, no, I won't do it, and so he was third choice for Marshall. So he says, just come out and say some of your witty one-liners, and McLuhanisms, and he comes out and he says, now this is the way the aphorism was always done by Marshall. Do you mean my whole fallacy is wrong? Now that is a question. That's what Marshall was all about. Reinventing new questions. Don't settle for the old ones. Just reinvent new questions, new metaphors. Or as George Clinton says, brother, can you paradigm? Like new paradigms. How do we come up with new paradigms? So, Woody says, no, it says a statement. So you watch the movie, and Marshall says, you mean my whole fallacy is wrong. As a statement. So it's the opposite. So if you did a tetrad on a car, just to warm up, give you an example, the first answer could possibly, there's no right or wrong answers, first answer for a car, tetrad, for what does it enhance? Private mobility. What does it render obsolete? The horse and buggy. Well, horse and buggies still exist. People use them in Pennsylvania and they're still efficient. But generally, boom, no more horse and buggies, we bring in the cars. Watch great movement that's strong in this town, Critical Mass. Their movies taught me this one. In New York City, it was dead horses everywhere. They had no efficient way to clean up dead horses. They just died them outside. So then the car guys come in and go, dude, no more dead horses. Buy one of these. Fucking A, sign me up, man. You know, we're going to have no more dead horses all over. Well, cars, I'll take one. Basically, cars have made horse and buggies obsolete. They're not gone. Tell me if you can, any invention that ever was made by humans that's gone completely. Can't. Because you got nostalgia. You got collector's guide. You go, I've got to have vinyl. Retrieval. Real important step. Sort of comes from Marshall's idea that everything we invent extends some human part of us. So, clothing is an extension of our skin. Knife and fork extends our teeth. We don't need a knife and fork really, but if you get a tough piece of food, it's easier with a knife and fork, right? So we say, hey, invent a knife and fork, that works. Guess what film editing extends? Will's doing it back there. Blinking. We don't have earlids, we have eyelids. There's a lot to sense ratio shifting we'll go into later. So, retrieval comes from that idea. Everything extends some part of us. What does the car retrieve when pressed to an extreme? No, excuse me. What does the car retrieve that was previously obsolete? The knight in shining armor. It brings back, he's laughing, it's metaphoric. It brings back the idea that we're covered in metal and we're on a journey. It's like you guys got in your car and you came here. You know, I'm in my car and I'm on a journey, but I'm covered in metal. So that's the retrieval step. What does it reverse into? This is really important. To understand life, the way we proceed in life is we walk forward. to understand it, you have to go back. So this is like a good housekeeping tip, or Boys Life magazine. If you ever lose your key or your cell phone, literally get up and take 4 steps backwards, and you'll find you're missing that. So reversal is important, flipping into your opposite. What does a car become when reversed or pressed to an extreme? A home. I have friends in Venice. Where I live, they live in their car. Don't have to vacuum clean, don't have to pay, you know, the outrageous bills we have to pay as renters or house owners. Pretty good deal. Small. Okay. What else does a car become when pressed to an extreme? A bomb. Used efficiently across the world daily to kill people. So if we were doing tetrad management with Henry Ford right now, we could go, yo dude, maybe someday these are going to turn into bombs. You know, my wife's like really big anti-fracking. And it's like, well, what you are is you're really pro-fracking regulation. You're not going to get rid of fracking, and it does work. It has services. But the disservices are on you know, progressive liberal earth lovers want to hate fracking right now. All the power to them. But I says, what about cars? Cars kill way more people than fracking. You're not on a campaign to stop cars or have better car regulations. The last thing we want is any more regulations for a car. Just let me buy my car and do what I want with it, please. You know,